It's not the pain that scares you, it's the silence. The house is asleep, but you're wide awake. Again, you sit on the edge of the bed, already tired before the day even starts. You know the routine. Slow steps to the bathroom, a weak stream that takes effort, pressure that never fully leaves, and when you lie back down, your mind starts racing. Why is this getting worse? How much sleep am I going to lose tonight? And why does no one talk about this? I'm Dr. Mika Halen, Natural Men's Health, a urologist with over 14 years helping men restore prostate health naturally. Today, I'll show you how your prostate has been sending signals for years through urination, sleep, and energy, and why ignoring them quietly steals your quality of life. The night always feels longer than it should. You wake up once, then twice, sometimes 4 times before morning. Each trip feels heavier than the last. Not painful, just exhausting. You stand there, half asleep, waiting for your body to cooperate. The stream hesitates, starts, stops, and when you're done, it never feels finished. You lie back down knowing sleep won't be deep anymore. Your brain stays alert. Your body never fully rests. By morning, it shows low patience, foggy thinking, a tiredness that coffee can't touch. I see this pattern every week. Men don't come in complaining about their prostate. They talk about energy, about sleep, about feeling off. Robert is 68. He told me, "Doc, I'm not sick. I'm just worn down." He was waking up 3 times a night, every night. His workdays felt longer, his temper shorter, and he started avoiding evenings out because he didn't trust his bladder. Then there's Michael, 72, retired, active, still sharp, but his nights changed first. Weak stream, urgency, that constant pressure feeling. He said, "I feel like my body is rushing me, even when nothing's wrong." That's the part most men miss. These aren't random problems, they're connected. When urination breaks your sleep, your body never resets. When sleep breaks, your energy drops. When energy drops, everything feels harder than it should. Mood, focus, motivation. And slowly, your quality of life shrinks without any single dramatic moment. Most men normalize it. They say, "This is just age," or "My dad had this too." But here's the truth that surprises them. Your body isn't failing. It's communicating. The prostate doesn't shout. It whispers. Through night urination, through weak flow, through that lingering pressure. Ignore those signals long enough and fatigue becomes your baseline. Sleep becomes shallow. Days become heavier. And the most dangerous part? You start planning your life around bathrooms. You stop traveling. You leave events early. You sit closer to exits. Not because you want to, because you don't feel safe anymore. If this feels familiar, type 1 in the comments. Most men think the problem is the bladder, or the kidneys, or simply age, but the real pressure point sits lower, quiet, hidden, your prostate. Picture your urinary system like a garden hose. Water should flow freely, smooth, uninterrupted. Now imagine someone slowly stepping on that hose, not enough to stop the water, just enough to narrow the path. That's what an enlarged prostate does. The prostate wraps around the urethra, the tube that carries urine out. As the prostate grows with age, it presses inward, not suddenly, gradually. The stream weakens, it hesitates, it stops and starts. Your bladder senses resistance, so it works harder. It squeezes more often. That's why urgency shows up first. That's why night urination follows. Your bladder doesn't wake you up because it's full. It wakes you up because it can't empty properly. Over time, the bladder becomes overactive, sensitive, impatient, and your sleep pays the price. This pressure also explains why the stream feels thin, why it takes effort, and why you never feel fully relieved. It's not weakness, it's physics, traffic jam, not engine failure. This is also where PSA comes in. PSA doesn't diagnose how you feel, it helps monitor what's happening. Think of PSA like a smoke detector. It doesn't tell you where the fire is, it tells you to pay attention. Rising PSA doesn't always mean danger, but ignoring trends means missing early signals. Here's the part most men never hear. BPH isn't just about size, it's about pressure, inflammation, and tone. A slightly enlarged prostate with high tension can cause more symptoms than a larger one that's calm. That's why two men the same age can have completely different nights. One sleeps through, the other memorizes bathroom tiles. And this is where habits matter. What you do during the day affects pressure at night. What you eat, how late you drink fluids, how your body handles inflammation. Your prostate responds to signals too. In a moment, I'll walk you through the first habit that reduces nightly pressure without straining the bladder or shocking your system. It's simple. Most men overlook it, and it's the easiest place to start tonight. Here's where things change. Not with force, not with panic, but with the right signals. I want you to remember the opening scene, the dark room, the slow walk, the weak stream. Everything I'm about to share is designed to reduce pressure there. Not stimulate, not push, just calm the system so urine can flow and sleep can return. The first habit is the easiest, and it's the one most men get wrong. Late evening fluid timing. This is not about drinking less water, it's about drinking it earlier. Many men sip all evening. Tea, water, soup. A glass by the bed, just in case. Your kidneys don't shut off at night. They slow down, so whatever comes in late gets processed when you're trying to sleep. But here's what most men miss. With BPH, the bladder is already irritated, already sensitive. Late fluids don't just fill the bladder, they increase pressure against a narrowed exit. That's why the urge feels sudden, urgent, non-negotiable. James is 66, still working, sharp. He told me, "I don't drink much, just a little all night." We didn't change his total intake. We moved most of it earlier, before dinner. Within 10 days, his night trips dropped from 3 to 1. Not perfect, but livable. Tonight, your action is simple. Finish most fluids at least 2 hours before bed, small sips only after. The second habit targets pressure itself, posture during urination. Most men stand tense, rushed, leaning forward, jaw tight. That tension doesn't stay in your shoulders. It travels. The pelvic floor tightens. The bladder neck resists. Urine doesn't flow through tension. I tell men to slow the moment down, feet flat, knees soft, belly relaxed, let gravity assist. Some men do better sitting at night, not forever, just when the system is tired. Daniel, 71, laughed when I suggested this. Then he tried it. He came back and said, "I stopped fighting my body, and it stopped fighting me." A calmer exit means less residual urine, less urgency later. The third habit works earlier in the day but shows up at night. Midday movement. Not exercise. Movement. Long sitting compresses the pelvis, reduces circulation locally, increases congestion around the prostate. That congestion adds pressure. A 10-minute walk after lunch can change your night. Not because it burns calories, because it drains pressure. Paul is 73, retired accountant. He slept poorly for years. We didn't touch his evenings. We added one walk. Same time every day. 2 weeks later, his bladder stopped waking him twice. The body likes rhythm. Your prostate does too. The fourth habit involves what you stop. Evening bladder irritants, caffeine, alcohol, very spicy foods. Not because they're bad, but because they irritate tissue. An irritated bladder sends false alarms, even when it's not full. That's why you feel urgency with little output. Mark, 69, loved his evening tea. Herbal, he said, but it was still stimulating his bladder. He moved it to the afternoon. His sleep stopped fragmenting. You don't need to quit everything. Just respect timing, earlier signals, calmer nights. The fifth habit addresses inflammation, quietly, gently, consistent bowel regularity. This surprises men, but a full rectum presses directly against the prostate, sharing the same tight space. That extra pressure worsens symptoms. Straining makes it worse. Fiber earlier in the day, regular timing, no rushing. Thomas, 74, thought his bladder was the issue. It wasn't only that. Once his bowel routine stabilized, his urgency eased, pressure reduced from both sides. Here's what ties all of this together. None of these habits shrink anything overnight. They reduce stress, they reduce pressure. And pressure is what wakes you up. Remember the hose. You're not replacing it. You're removing the foot. Your prostate isn't broken. It's responding to signals. Late fluids, tension, congestion, irritation. Change the signals and the response changes. Choose one action you'll start tonight. If you've been blaming yourself, stop here for a moment. Nothing you're experiencing means failure. Nothing means your body has given up. What's happening is simpler than that. Your prostate has been under steady pressure for years, and pressure always shows up somewhere. First at night, then in sleep, then in energy. You didn't miss a warning sign. You lived through it quietly. Most men push through. They adapt. They normalize waking up tired. They normalize planning their day around how drained they feel. But adaptation isn't healing. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. Small signals, repeated daily, create calm where tension used to live. Not overnight, but steadily. This is why one perfect day doesn't change much, and why one bad night doesn't erase progress. What matters is direction. When pressure decreases, sleep deepens. When sleep improves, energy returns. And when energy comes back, life opens again. You stop measuring distance to bathrooms. You stop dreading evenings. You start trusting your body again. That trust didn't disappear. It was buried under fatigue. Your prostate is not your enemy. It's a messenger. And now you know how to listen. If this helped you understand what your body has been trying to say, stay with me. Subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next conversation. I share simple, natural ways to reduce prostate pressure, improve urination, and protect your quality of life without fear or false promises. If you know a man over 50 who's waking up exhausted and pretending it's fine, share this video with him. It might be the first time someone explains what he's feeling in a way that actually makes sense. And when you're ready, watch the next video where I explain the one nightly mistake that quietly increases prostate stress, even in men who think they're doing everything right.